And then there was hockey. Welcome back in. Here it is InGame Live, and we are, well, PrimeTime here on the SportsGrid Network. Joe Raineri alongside Dave Sharapan. This is what we like to refer to as the calm before the storm. And, of course, that storm will be all about the playoffs coming up not only in the association, but the NHL here. But first, they got this pesky regular season. Got to get some game. Got to finish everything up, and that's why we're stuck watching teams like the Kraken and the Wild right now. And then maybe the greatest game of the night, Dave, the Sharks taking on Calgary for the I don't give a crap, hurry up and end the season bowl. This should be an awful lot of fun here tonight. Canucks and Winnipeg, and I believe Oilers and Avalanche tonight. The chances of any of these games staying under tonight here, Dave?
Hello, Joseph. No, probably not.
Zero.
There's going to be a lot of overs. No, just like you like to do. No.
Yes.
No.
Minnesota,
I'll hit you with this one. 24-3 when leading after the first period. They were leading 1-0 after the first period. So you need a little money line play in game. There you go.
Okay.
I don't know what we're going to buy for 2 hours. You're going to have to keep us on the rails. Sam's going to have to make sure we stay on the rails and, talk about maybe NBA playoff odds, NHL series odds coming up. Who's going to do what? I got the Vegas night stuff on because tonight, if they win, they determine their spot, who they play. If they lose, they get Dallas. If they win, they get Edmonton. If you're Vegas, Joe, who do you want to play?
I want to play the Marlins because I feel like I can actually beat them. But we should be able to figure out exactly who's going to be playing what and where. I'm still excited, however, that right here on this actually the show prior to this, Game Time Decisions last night, we had a number of people, including Dave Sharapan, show up and tell us that there is absolutely no way that they could play Edmonton last night, and that the play was hurry up and bet Arizona in the final game at that YMCA rink and hurry up and do it before the co-ed league had to take the ice in the arena over at 11:30. And wouldn't you know it, last night, the Coyotes leaving Arizona on such a high note with a 5-2 win over the Oilers, who literally played nobody in that game. In fact, I thought there was a 5-on-2 at one point in that game, and then I realized the Oilers are like, all right, just go ahead, go. Like, go ahead and win the game here. But you got a pretty big plus number last night there, Sharapan, with the Coyotes. Do we have a big plus number here tonight that we should be looking at?
Jeez, Joe, you put me on the spot.
I'm just saying, this is the time to bet them. This is the time.
I think that it's the Blackhawks, is it not, against the Kings?
It has to be.
I think that's the one.
It has to be.
I don't think it's the Ducks against the Knights, although can't get any goalie information. I mean, that's one of the hardest things to do when you handicap the hockey. Right now, it says expected versus confirmed on this site. I don't know who's playing net for even Edmonton tonight. I mean, they did lay down, so to say, last night in Arizona, who's now moving to Utah. That's been confirmed. I don't know. I'm not comfortable with any of it. But if you got to pick a dog, I kind of like what you said. There's 4 games. What is that? 5 games that haven't started.
Yep.
Is it Winnipeg? Winnipeg and Vancouver. That's the best game of the night based on the number.
It is.
Totals 5.5, right? Small favorite. Vancouver minus 130. So maybe it's Winnipeg, although their matchup is set. Their series price is up. They're playing Colorado.
Yes. Correct.
Did you see that series price? It's virtually a pick 'em.
Yep.
Home team minus a quarter.
I can see that. It is a pick 'em. I don't think it's going to be a runaway either way there. So I do feel it's a series that's going to come down to who can get who can win the power play and get the special teams goals, because that's kind of everything else is pretty much leveled up except bigger names on the Avalanche. But
Right.
what are we doing here tonight with this Avalanche Edmonton game? Because we saw Edmonton throw the skates last night and we're like, yeah, no. So now at 9:30 against Colorado on the final day of the NHL regular season, certainly not going to mean anything for these teams here, I don't believe, unless you. But it's a $2. I mean, the Oilers are what? Almost a $2 dog here. So doesn't that tell you exactly what they're going to bring to the table? But the question is, what is Colorado going to bring? Are they worthy of a $2 favorite?
I don't have the answer to either question. This is one of those ones that we will have to wait and see and watch.
No way.
Team to score first. How about this? We'll do team to score first. The home team, right? In this situation, the home team will score first, and then we'll be able to play off of that. I don't want to get too crazy with trying to pick a side. This is tough. Over? Or is this one of those ones where whoever goes out there, it's like dump the puck, shoot it in the corner, keep it moving, no whistles. Let's get in and out of here. You know, did you see how quick the Red Sox game was yesterday? Did you happen to catch how fast the game against Cleveland was? It was 1 hour and 49 minutes. How do you go and watch a baseball game in an hour and 49 minutes? Well, how you do that?
No, you don't. It's that's what they wanted, right? Pitch count, pitch clocks and all, and that kind of what
Fast.
that was kind of like a Miami FC game, kind of like, all right, you got 90 minutes here, you better hurry up. The clock's not stopping, and if it's a tie, it's a tie. I don't know what to tell you. But there's been a few games like that so far this year in Major League Baseball. Listen, good thing, bad thing, because the other opportunity means, well, we got nothing but long games, and I believe there was a 14-inning extra inning game already this year. I think the other night we had it tied at 13. I think it went to 14 innings. And I thought the whole runner on, I thought that was all supposed to go away, Dave, with the advent of the pitch clock and starting a runner on second.
That was the exception to the rule. Because they have been ending in either 10 or 11. They don't really get to 12, 13. I didn't even see it was a 14 in the game. That's very rare
what I thought
anymore.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
It can happen. Hopefully it doesn't happen tonight with Arizona.
No, I want it to happen tonight. I want to be up until 4 o'clock in the morning watching the Diamondbacks throw up all over themselves. I think it's going to be great here, but we'll have more on that game. And who exactly are we playing on the ice tonight in meaningless hockey? We'll tell you next on The Grid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He was like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, yeah, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
We talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell Coast to Coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
InGame Live, prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage Late
sort
Night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in. It is InGame Live. We are prime time with not a lot of games live right now. Try and say that 3 times fast. Dave Sharapan, Joe Raineri, appreciate you hanging with us here while we get ready for what is going to be craziness here this weekend. And believe it or not, we still don't know who the number 1 seeds are playing in the NBA. We've got to wait for a couple of more play-in games that are going to take center stage tomorrow night. And wouldn't you know it, in great NBA fashion, not 1, but 2 of the teams and their superstars will not be playing in it, which is interesting because the correlation and the similarities between these 2 games coming up tomorrow, we know the Miami Heat, no Jimmy Butler. That's a problem. We know New Orleans, no Zion. That's a problem. But when you go down the list, Dave, think about this. I mean, they did the whole no load management this year, right? They went out of their way to make sure no load management. You will play back to back. You'll play as many games as you can, and I applauded them for it. But not if it's going to get Giannis out for the playoffs, Kawhi out for the playoffs, Jimmy Butler out for the playoffs, Zion out for. Look, go down the list of superstars that will not probably be participating in this postseason, and it is a bit head-scratching. Now, I don't know if there's a correlation between that, but I do find it very interesting that we're not talking like 6th Man of the Year award guys. We're talking guys that sell tickets and, more importantly, sell media rights that will not be playing. Kawhi's not playing for the Clippers. Who are we kidding? That's not going to happen. Nope. So is it just bad luck, or is there something to it?
A little bit of both. But, I mean, Butler getting hurt and Zion getting hurt, that's definitely bad luck. I don't think that had anything to do with it. But it affects the number. It affects everything because even if Miami wins, they got to play. They got to play Boston without Jimmy Buckets.
What do you mean if?
Without Butler, they have no shot.
What is that? What is that if crap? No, what if? If what? Miami is winning. Let's just say it and get it out there right now. They don't need Jimmy Butler to beat the Bulls. Stop it. At home. They do not need that to beat the Bulls. Boston's another story. But the Bulls, no. How many times, Dave, this year have we seen teams lose their superstar and the very next game, everybody runs to the window, the ambulance chasers, and like, oh, give me the other, give me the Bulls, give me Sacramento.
Yeah.
Doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. Now, granted, doesn't look great for Boston, but it certainly looks good enough to beat Chicago there at home, no?
Yeah, I think that's the way I'm leaning. But I really, when I don't have all the pieces to the puzzle, I hate making a pregame bet on it. I just don't like it. It's just one of those things where I go, this is when it was fun to work in the book, and you just let the bets come in, and whatever the side you need, you just root for.
How high is this number getting? So if I want to bet Miami, do I wait? Because Duncan Robinson may not be playing now. We know Rozier's out. So we know Rozier's out. We know Jimmy's out. We know Duncan Robinson 50-50 may or may not play. But again, is there enough with Miami to beat Chicago? And if there is, do you expect this line to go to 3? Because then that's got to be an automatic play on Miami, no?
I mean, I got Miami -1.5 here where I'm looking. So
I saw 2s popping up today, but is it only going to go one direction?
Yeah, it is. Because of everything you're saying. Like, as soon as the guy gets hurt, you bet on that team. There's guys that subscribe to that theory and will do that. So they know that. The book knows that. I'm not going to pick. It's going to 2.
It opened 3.
2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
3.
think it's going. I don't think it's going back to 3. I don't think so.
No. It
What
was
about the
Miami
other
3. Miami was the 3-point favorite until they announced Jimmy Butler was out this morning there after the MRI. So we had all look-aheads that were going to be at -3, which that's the number I had with them, that if Miami was playing Chicago, it was a 3.5, simply because it's at home, it's in Miami, if Jimmy Butler was healthy. But now Jimmy Butler's not. It's come cratered down to 1.5. And I can only see Chicago money coming in. Everybody's going to run to the window to bet. At least the public is. They're going to fade Miami with no Jimmy Butler, no Rozier. And if Duncan Robinson gets ruled out, all the money's coming towards Chicago.
You see the total? 205. 205. Like, this is going to not only be a tough game to bet, it's going to be a tough game to watch, right? I don't know. The Miami game ended over on a last-second shot.
It did.
On a lot of people.
Please.
I have to think that this one's going under, especially the first half. Under. And then, again, Joe, I don't know the other game. I looked at it. It's one. It's Pelicans.
They're the same game. It's crazy.
Right?
It's
I don't know.
Same game.
The total's different. Yep. It's 211.
Okay. We got a crack in goal is what we've got here. Crack in goal. Who would the Kraken play? That's right. Dogs are very much alive here today. Yes.
There we go. Yes. This could be a big, big night for the Dogs if you're a dog better. Especially if you put them together. A couple parlays. Last night of the regular season. That stat was 24-3 of Minnesota. They 24-3 when they're leading after the first period. So they're tied right now. You may want to come back. You get a much better price on Minnesota if you want to do that. And if you think that Seattle's going to score again, you better bet them now. So watching the game. I don't know, Joe. When you watch these games.
Oh, the Canucks. The Canucks just scored too, huh? 1-0 over Winnipeg, Dave. Yeah, you go. There you go. And the Winnipeg Jets were the dog, right?
Yes.
There you go.
Nice
one. Yeah. Really on top of that.
Great addition to the show. I love it.
Great idea. Whoever came up with it. Really good.
Yeah.
So the Jets at home were the dog, but that was really a pick-up price, right? 105, I think it was. It was pretty much a pickup.
I mean, it closed. It's minus 260 here now. Vancouver's minus 260.
After one goal?
What?
Wow.
Yeah, it's only 6 minutes into the game.
There we go. There's another one.
Minnesota got another penalty, Joe.
Yeah, they're on a power play, Kraken. Yep. So now you're going to make me bet the Oilers, aren't you? I'm going to have to bet the Oilers, the Sharks. There's only one favorite that's going to win tonight, isn't it? And it's going to be the Golden Knights. That's the only one. Now, again, you're wearing the hat. So tell me, the Golden Knights win this game tonight. They play who? If they lose, who are they playing? What's the choices here?
I think it's win and play Dallas, lose and play Edmonton.
Oof.
So people are saying, oh, why would you want to play Dallas? No, lose. I'm sorry, reverse that. Lose and play Dallas, who you're 3-0 against.
Yes.
Win and you play Edmonton, who you're 1-3 against. But the matchup with Dallas, the games they were undefeated. They haven't played them since December. Somebody in our chat today brought that up on Bostonia versus Book, and I'm like, okay, so those games are meaningless. Like that's not part of the handicap. Teams have changed so much since December that I don't think you can use any of that stuff other than maybe in a playoff handicap from a global perspective. Check the individual games. Did you have success at home? Were you on the power play a lot? I don't think you can just blindly go, oh, this team beat them. Every time they play them, I'm betting them to win this series. No.
Yeah. Is Stone back? Is he playing?
Yeah.
All right, so he's healthy,
not playing
right?
tonight.
So
He'll be fine for the play.
But he's good. Yeah, I know. All right, give me the Ducks. We'll be back.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell Coast to Coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
InGame Live. PrimeTime.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage Late
sort
Night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
right, welcome back in here. It is InGame Live, PrimeTime here on the SportsGrid Network. Joe Raineri alongside Dave Sharapan. Slow night here as we wrap up the NHL regular season here tonight. Some interesting games coming up. And it's nice to see at least one or two of these games has something to do with either seeding or really just not getting hurt in many aspects here. 1-1 Kraken and Wild. The Canucks are up 1-0 over the Winnipeg Jets. And we still have a couple of games coming up next hour. Sharks Flames, in case you can't sleep. That's a good recommendation. Just throw that on the TV. Oilers Avalanche also, in case there aren't enough $4 favorites like the Golden Knights and the Kings tonight. Taking on the Ducks and Blackhawks, respectively. You can always watch the Avalanche and Oilers, because that could be, Dave, correct me if I'm wrong here, that could be maybe a looky-see ahead to what might be in the playoffs at some point. I think Colorado wrapped up what? The 1 seed? Who's one? Or Dallas is 1. Who's the 1 seed?
Dallas. Dallas is 1 seed.
Dallas is.
Yeah, Colorado's playing Winnipeg, regardless of what happens tonight. This game tonight may be a second-round matchup. That could happen.
Right.
So there's the series price for
peek
the
ahead.
Avalanche. Yeah.
That is.
Series total number of games. I'm surprised that's 5.5. I think this is going to be an absolute battle. Both sides win a game on the road. This thing's going 6 minimum. I think it goes 6 minimum.
Minimum.
It's either 6 or 7. So over to 5.5 if that's a play. I wouldn't lay 1.5. I mean, the only way you win that bet is if it's 4-2. Because if it goes 7, you can't win it. And you're basically saying that series is going to end in 5 or 6 games. Well, not for me. It's 6 minimum. My first lean, Joe, I'm telling you, is Winnipeg. I really? Yes. Yeah. I think Winnipeg can win that series. I do. I think Winnipeg can win that series. There's a lot of holes in Colorado.
Them?
No, I don't. That's until they do it, right? This is when that happens every year, right? We get to April. There's certain matchups you see and you go, maybe this is the year. Oh, you get the dog that can win the series. Plus money. Decent price. Winnipeg. Better goalie. You start to talk yourself into the side. You go, yeah, this is it. I've done it before with Winnipeg, and I've been disappointed every time. Every time. But I think this could be the one that there's just Colorado has gotten down in games so many times during the regular season, and then just stormed back.
Right.
If Winnipeg gets the lead in a couple of these games, they're going to clamp it down. They're going to win. So, I don't know. I think it's very possible that Winnipeg wins the series. You?
I find it very hard. You know, the stars come out at night, right? Winnipeg is a team that every year for what, Dave? The last 3, 4, 5 years, every year Winnipeg, we always think they should be better than they are. On paper, they're phenomenal. And then what happens? Then they end up losing a series they have no business losing. And every year we go, oh, look at that, Colorado. Oh, yeah, there we go, playing for the Western title. They got everybody. I mean, they got bigger names, don't get me wrong. I don't think they're as deep as what Winnipeg is. I think Winnipeg has the edge in goal, certainly. But he's going to be under assault, Dave, this entire series here. The truly greats always turn it up this time of year. Winnipeg is yet to prove they can do it. We know Colorado can, so until I see otherwise, it's got to be. To me, it's going to be all Colorado here. I can. And Edmonton, kudos to them. Don't ever let anybody telling you firing a coach doesn't work out, Dave, because I saw the record earlier today when they ended up canning their coach, which was what? I mean, 15 games in, I think. It wasn't even that. 20 games. Yep. They have been absolutely unreal. So, kudos to the management ownership there who thought maybe this is what needed to happen because we all scrutinized it and said, like, what are you doing firing a dude like a month into the season? Well, it turns out it was spot on because whatever that change did, whatever that was in the locker room that wasn't clicking, it clicked once he left. So sometimes that works here, Dave. So instead of remember that next year when inevitably somebody's going to get fired in the first month. And chances are it could very well work. But that just tells me the writing must have been on the wall heading into the season for a guy to get canned and then that kind of dramatic of a turnaround. Well, see, the Winnipeg Jets, the Dogs tonight, tied it up here, I think now, right?
Dogs.
That's a tie.
Dogs.
Yeah,
Dogs.
that's a tie.
Dogs.
It's a tie.
Yeah, this is good. We got.
And I say that only because I
got a
think
guy on the
Winnipeg is
phone.
winning it all. I'm just saying Winnipeg's going to win it all this year. That's kind of my bet.
You spun that all around on that goal. That goal horn just made you.
That one goal did it for me, man. One goal did it for me. Just put me over the top. Yes. Put me right over the top.
Look at the right column of that graphic.
Right.
If you can, Sam, put that back up if you don't mind. Which one of those teams, if you could only select one in the right-hand column, would you pick? I got mine instantaneously. I know who it is. Easy.
Got to be the Canucks, no? Got to be. No,
Canucks!
I would go Edmonton. No, not the Canucks. Canucks are terrible. Canucks are going nowhere. To me, it's Edmonton. And I'll tell you what, Edmonton, 46-17-5 since they Knobloch replaced Woodcroft. 46-17-5. If that's not a ridiculous turnaround, people, I don't know what to tell you. I think on that side of that graphic there, the team up at the top, Oilers, I think that's they got just way too much firepower. If they can, and this is the big if though, but if they can just maintain and goal, they will score enough. As long as they don't have to play the Kings, right? They should have a pretty easy way there in order to be representing, I think, the West anyway. I think Edmonton comes out of the West. It's loaded, but I think Edmonton's the one that does it.
Right. I'm looking at that right-hand column, and it just screams to me to take Boston. I just think if Boston gets by, it's annoying, and I might have had it beaten into me from Peralt with this Bostonian versus the book nonsense. But I really think now if Boston gets by this first-round series, like the path is good. They can actually win it. And they won't. But they play the Leafs the first series. And it's a really short price. You think the Leafs beat them?
The Leafs are, yes, I do, because the Leafs are going to do what the Leafs always do. Against a team they should beat, right, is where you'd have to be worried. But like you said, this is a very short price. They will look like world beaters. They will run right through Boston. And then the next round is where they will throw up all over themselves, once again sticking the dagger in Toronto Leafs fans all over, Canada and the rest of the world, because they will look the part, Dave, and they'll look it against a really good Boston Bruins team. And then the wheels will inevitably fall off like they do each and every year. I can't believe Tampa's got to play my Panthers, but here we go again. And that should be very interesting. Yeah, that's going to be very interesting.
That's an absolute war. And it has been for years when they meet up. It's been long series. It's been physical series. It's been a little bit dirty. I think that's the type of series that Tampa wants. I'm not sure that, like in years past, I'm not sure that Florida was going to match that. But after last year, Florida's fine. Florida can play any style of game. It's going to be about the ball. And as long as he keeps them in the games, they're going to score goals. They're going to hit you. They're going to wear you down. And, I mean, them winning the last day meant that this was to be now, okay, we got to get Tampa. Okay, we knew that. We knew we were going to have to beat Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
We're fine.
Yep.
This might be the
I don't
end.
think it's
We
gonna
just
be a
saw the
problem.
end of Golden State, right?
Yes.
I don't know if this is the end of Tampa, but I like Florida. I like Florida in that matchup.
I don't know if it ain't broke, right? Don't fix it. We knew that last year was the year they finally got over that hump with Tampa, right? Tampa had them the previous couple of years. They were President's Cups winners, and then they absolutely looked horrific against Tampa. Tampa mauled right through them on their way to the finals there. It turns out they didn't have enough to win it all, but that was really the beginning of the end there, because last year they have basically figured it out and going to figure it out again this year. I think there's a window for Florida here, and very top-heavy team. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they have the kind of depth they may need, but as long as everyone stays healthy, I think they're a beast here, and I think they're going to take exactly that experience from a year ago, and I have it over in 4. Is that too much? Is that too aggressive?
Ooh.
I think it's a sweep. Yes, I have
sweep?
sweeping right through to the next round. Sweep and see you later, Tampa. There is some great available tea time, Tampa Bay Lightning. You may want to look into it.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, yeah, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell Coast to Coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
InGame Live. PrimeTime.
We got not one, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
Late
sort
Night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Oh, boy, the Cowboys. Welcome back in. It is InGame Live. We are PrimeTime, and it is never, and I mean never too early, to talk NFL draft. And I think there is still a franchise called the Dallas Cowboys. You wouldn't know it, judging from the fact that they've made absolutely zero football moves here over the offseason. In fact, they haven't lifted a finger to improve their roster, but there's always the draft. No, that's right. They don't have a whole lot of that either here, but nobody knows that better than our good friend George Kurtz stepping in here on InGame Live Prime Time. And Kurtz, a lot of discussing this on the ice tonight, but the draft is just around the corner. And I was just off air asking, what the needs for the Cowboys. What did they address? Anything? I mean, in the offseason since we last saw them, and what could they do in the draft? And you alerted us to the fact that, well, they haven't done a damn thing to improve this roster, have they, to this point? Maybe it's early, though. It's only, 4 months.
Well, they've lost 2 offensive linemen, lost a running back, wide receiver. This is not a joke. I'm not making this up. That's just on offense. I know. 2 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers. I assume Stephon Gilmore won't re-sign with the Cowboys either, so they will have lost a cornerback. They've done they added Royce Freeman this week. All was right in the world. They added Royce Freeman and Eric Kendricks. Right, Kendricks is well past his prime, so I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's confusing. Remember, Jerry Jones said we're all in. All right, and then Stephen Jones tried to defend that this week. Well, your definition of all in may be different than our definition of all in. Your definition of all in, Jerry, is different than everyone's definition of all in. All right, you're all out. That's what's going on. The Cowboys are going all out here. They're having all sorts of problems with Dak. Right? There's no negotiations going on here. Right? CeeDee Lamb's going to be a holdout through voluntary camp because he wants a new contract. So there's all sorts of issues here. I told you during the break, I can only think of 2 reasons what's going on with Dallas. One, Jerry's decided, we're not going to win with Dak. I can win a division with Dak. I can win 11 games with Dak, but I can't win a divisional game, a championship game, a Super Bowl. And I'm not going to pay him $55, $60 million a year, $200 million guaranteed when I know he can't go that far. I want more than that. Okay, that makes some sense. But Jerry's 84 years old? You have time to develop another quarterback? Trey Lance is not the answer. Cooper Rush is not the answer. Do the Cowboys think that a quarterback's going to fall to them in this draft at 24? Or are they willing to trade up to get one of the teens and give up next year's number 1? Or is Jerry has some financial issues? And that's what's stopping him from giving the Dak $200 million guaranteed. Is that what's going on here? It's only 2 things I can think of here because nothing else makes sense. The Cowboys are a much worse team right now than they were when they lost to Green Bay in January here. I would hit their under win total, which is 10.5. I would hit that under hard. I agree. Because the draft ain't going to solve their issues, and that's the problem. And so McCarthy is basically a lame duck. Because what's he going to do with this team besides win 6 games this year? He's toast. He's toast.
He's done.
There's a lot of people think that maybe Bill Belichick's coming next season. So what? Bill's going to develop a quarterback? Really? That's what's going to happen? That's I guess once some rumors going around here that I think an insider said that, I forget which one, that Belichick they don't think Belichick would go to any other team except to work with Jerry Jones. How does that make any sense? Both control freaks, right? I mean, Bill's going to want control of the roster. Jerry's not giving it up. So it makes no sense here. They'll start from scratch with a new quarterback here. It's a mess. It's a mess in Big D. Listen, they're not the best team in the NFC East. They're not even the best team in Texas anymore.
Oh, ouch. Ouch.
He's right.
Right is right. He's not lying.
Yeah.
He's not lying.
You're right. Did you look at any hockey tonight? Because you've been dubbed Captain Chalk by some of the people here on the network, and you don't get scared of playing favorites. But like tonight, there's maybe some scary favorites. I'm wearing the Knight stuff. They're big favorites. Knights, big favorites. The Flames are big favorites. I don't know what to do tonight, George. We were looking at it. We're like, all right, we got one baseball game later. We'll mention it. You feel comfortable laying $3.75 or $4 with the Knights?
No. Although the game does mean something. But you don't know, are they thrilled about? Do they want to play Edmonton? Do they want to play Dallas? Which team would they rather play? I assume you'd rather play Edmonton, but maybe they'd rather play Dallas there. So I think if they win, if they get a point tonight, they play Edmonton. All right, the Kings are sort of would need Vegas to lose in regulation, not overtime, to move up there. So the game does mean something to the Golden Knights, and I think they do want to play Edmonton. So I think the Knights will take it seriously. I think they want to win here, but I'm not laying 375. You either got to find a parlay partner. I mean, you could go with an anytime goal scorer. Do we like Marqueso to score tonight? Eichel. But those are not great goal scorers. Once again, it's not it's not Hyman, it's not Matthews, a guy who scores every other game or close to it. You talk about now a guy who scores once every 3 games here. So I'm a little worried about it tonight. Lay the goal and a half. I can see that. And I guess if you're going to play it, you have to go that direction, because I don't feel great about a parlay with the Kings, because I don't know if the Kings care.
Okay. That was my next question. So, we have tremendous staff working behind the scenes, making sure we sound good, look good, all that other stuff. They come up with some really good ideas. And our esteemed young guy in the back here said, I'm just doing all the dogs based on Joe's recommendation. Give me all the dogs together. Let me put them in a little roundy and combo them up.
Yep.
Which dog tonight, George, if you could only pick one, do you think has the best shot of winning the game tonight outright on the money line?
I think you probably look at the games that are already being played here. All right, because I wouldn't give the Ducks. Winnipeg, hard to believe they're a dog. I mean, why are we in? Both teams have nothing to play for here, Winnipeg and Vancouver. But I'd probably give Peg the best chance here if we're going to call them a dog. Both teams, they just want to be careful, right? And the Canucks, make sure no one gets hurt here. Skate around the ice a little bit. Don't go to overtime. Let's go on here and go to healthy. I know what the Canucks don't play till Sunday. Peg plays Colorado. I don't think I know when that series starts offhand. The NHL, and they're lovely how they don't announce the playoff series till as late as possible, which has really been frustrating for most of us here. So I'd probably give Peg the best shot here. Says I won't take the Ducks. I won't take the Blackhawks either. I just don't trust that. I don't know what the Kings are going to do. Do they care? Do they not care? Are they scoreboard watching? We'll play it real if Vegas is up 2-0. Then we'll play because it doesn't matter anymore if we win or lose here. So I would say Peg. Definitely be one of the 2 games that are being played right now, not later on tonight.
So if you were a betting man, Carolina in 5, if you were going to run to the window, I'm just saying, I'm looking at some of these prices here, and it just feels like it's cheap, I think, for Carolina here, right? No? No. Oh, boy.
Who is that, George? Who is that?
Oh, is that Ron Duguay? Who is that? Oh, my goodness. Look, is that LaFontaine?
It does look like a 6, but it's not a 6. You got to go back further. That's actually a 9.
Yeah.
So that's
the camera inverted it. I couldn't see it. Oh,
Brian
Trotch.
Trottier, yes.
That is
who I grew up with.
Right, that is a great bobblehead doll. But those Islanders teams were good, George. Like, those teams had multiple lines. Those teams had Billy Smith in net, Clark Gillies, who I couldn't stand in Pittsburgh. He just beat everybody up. He never wore a helmet.
If he throws the glasses on, Dave, he looks like Al Arbor a little bit. I'm just saying. Kurt's, from the angle, and you know what I mean? just saying.
You got to get the bottle glasses to look like Al Arbor, right there.
Yes.
I got a lot of these, Dave. I got Brian Trottier. Clark Gillies is behind me. I got Denny Poffin and Mike Bossy over on the wall over there.
Oh, you got them all? Oh, my God.
Yeah, they gave more probably in
Morrow, do you? You don't have a Ken Morrow.
No, I do not have a Ken Morrow.
No. Well, if you don't have Nystrom, then just throw it all out. That's all. If you don't have Nystrom, I don't know what to tell you.
Listen, I got to live off my memories here, all right? All seriousness.
Fair.
I could see I think the Islanders are built for the playoffs. I do. They're a banger team, right? They're going to bang, bang, bang and take it to a long series. They want to beat you up here. The problem with the Islanders is this. Dead last of penalty kill. You better stay out of the box, all right? Because you can't kill a penalty here. And to make things worse, your power play sucks. So your special teams are just a disaster. You need to play 5-on-5. You just need to play 5-on-5 here to have any chance. That being said, it may be my heart talking here. I'll give the Islanders 6. Canes in 6. But my head says it's really going to be Canes in 5.
Oh,
that's what I said. 5. Right back to the original question. Back to if you're a betting man, I feel like you can get it in 4. Oh no. Oh jeez. I'm telling you. Guy's got no Vic Morrow back there, no Nystrom. The guy's got
Morrow,
half a.
what is he? I got an actor now? I got to have the actor?
Ken Morrow, Vic Morrow are all related. Doesn't make a damn bit of difference. My goodness. Yes. Where's Billy Smith's jersey? Goodness. They could use Billy Smith. They could use him.
It's the one position they don't need, right? They do have 2 good goalies here. They need they need a finisher.
Hot goalies
really
win, though, right?
Finisher.
Hot goalies can win a series like this against Carolina. So it's got to be one dog here in the first round, Kurtz. There's got to be one dog. What's the dog here?
Toronto. Give me the Maple Leafs.
That is not
go, Cam, go, baby. I'm taking.
Really?
The Boston Bruins are they're a one guy team, right? It's David Pastrnak. And during the regular season, no one's worried about that. You're not really game planning for that. But it was Boston's problem last season. In the playoffs, teams will game plan to stop that line. Brad Marchand's not the same player. It's all about Pastrnak. They do not have a good group at centers at all, right? It's not deep here. The goaltending's been a little wishy-washy of late here. And what are they going to do, Dave? Are they going to go with they're going to keep every other game, Swayman, Allmark, or are they going with one? Last year, they decided to go with one, and they picked the wrong guy, right? And then they went to Swayman last game of the series. It was too late here. I don't think Toronto's going any further, but I think they beat Boston. I do. So that's my underdog in the Eastern Conference here. Give me the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think the Rangers wipe out the Capitals, by the way. All right, boy. Yeah. If there's one series that could be a sweep, that would be it. But I'll take the Rangers. I'll give Washington game 3. I'll say they win game 3. Their home game, they'll win that somehow. Lindgren will play great. They'll be your goalie who plays fantastic here. And Florida, Tampa, that's going to be great. Absolutely great, boys. Love that series, but I'm going with Florida. I originally was thinking 6. Now I'm thinking maybe it does go to 7 here, but I got Florida winning that series.
Who's your favorite New York Islander goalie of all time? I think for me, it started out as Billy Smith, but it's Kelly Rudy. When Kelly
Rudy should have never traded him. Should have never traded him. Dumb trade.
That was it. They traded him. That was the end of that. Yep.
They traded Pierre Turgeon. I was almost in tears. Mm-hmm. Like, what are you doing? What do you? I mean, that was what was it? Maloney. He was still working for the freaking Rangers, so he traded Turgeon away, Malakoff. Those teams were fun. Even if they weren't good, man, remember, you had some Turgeon, you had Malakoff, Kasparaitis was fun. Vokoda and Bumgarner just beating the crap out of people when games got out of hand. It was fun back in the 90s. Right? It was almost must-watch TV. Islanders can't win, we'll just beat the crap out of the other team. Different game back then.
Sold a lot of tickets there to the old Coliseum there, watching nothing but fights. Yeah, that was well worth selling the tickets there. So, all right, Kurt. So I heard Islanders out in 4 and the Panthers sweep Tampa. So I agree with your 100% there, and no Tonelli bobblehead that you have there is going to change the fact that it is over for the Islanders. Appreciate it as always, Kurt. InGame Live continues.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at 3/4 golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He was like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, yeah, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
We talked about the Otani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell Coast to Coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
InGame Live, PrimeTime.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
Late
sort
Night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in here as we look to close out this first hour of InGame Live Prime Time. We got another hour here with you as we're keeping an eye on the ice. A couple of NHL games underway here, and we got four more getting ready to start. But right now, the Canucks and the Winnipeg Jets knotted up at one apiece, and the Kraken hanging tough with the Minnesota Wild now in the third. That, too, knotted up at one apiece. Coming up this hour, Flames, Sharks, Avalanche, Oilers giving way to the final couple of regular season games between the Knights and the Ducks and the Kings taking on the Blackhawks. We do have a Major League Baseball game coming up, which is an interesting one that we're looking forward to because I think we're all invested in this game tonight between Arizona and the Giants here, and Webb, I believe, on the mound there for the Giants does not look like the Webb of a year ago. And I don't know that he's going to look any better here tonight. Doesn't miss a lot of bats, Dave. I know it's early in the season. Some guys got to stretch out. Takes them a little bit longer, but he looks like a shell of what he was a year ago, which would worry me here if I was thinking about the Giants tonight.
Yeah, I agree, but success against them in the past kind of pushes me towards him in the matchup to pitch better. Giants first five, maybe. We'll go that route. Rather than the whole game. So, I don't know. 8-11 overall, 3-3 at home. Giants hitters are hitting a what? 245. That's seventh in the National League. It's painfully average. That's not good. Giants and under.
Yeah.
How about that? Giants and under. No?
How about a Nerfy? We'll talk a Nerfy when we come back here to begin another round. Maybe a little no run in the first inning could be on tap here tonight. You'll have to come back and find out what we're going to bet here. InGame Live Primetime returns.
smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in, off and running another hour here of In-Game Live, and we are prime time here as we've got some NHL action, the final day of the regular season here before the playoffs begin in a couple of days over the weekend, and we do have one baseball game coming up. Out with the National League West, Arizona traveling to the Bay Area, taking on the Giants here. That game coming up in about 45 minutes here. Nelson taking on Logan Webb here. And both of these teams not exactly off to the kinds of start that they had hoped to. Both teams sitting just about under 500 here, 9-10 for Arizona, 8-11 for San Francisco. Both of these teams, though, coming in, Dave, I think have won 3 of their last 5. So they do seem, well, I mean, the Giants played the Marlins. That don't really count. So they do seem to have turned it around here a little bit. And the one thing about the Giants Stadium is that usually I always look to bet unders there, night games, especially with that swirling wind, as long as it's not dead out. But I don't. Listen, Diamondbacks don't strike out a lot. They put the ball in play. They make contact. The Giants' defense continues to be a problem like it was last year. So I'm leaning towards a run in the first inning here because I don't trust either pitcher all that much. So I'm thinking maybe give me a run in the first inning here to get it done, and maybe even a first 5 over. How's that?
Oh, I like opposite of all that.
That's great.
I would bet no in the first inning, and I would bet under for the game.
Wow.
So
wow.
I haven't done
You
it
got
yet.
some
Not
confidence in Nelson, huh?
I'm not excited about it. No, this is one of those nights where I feel like you could force plays if you get too, get too crazy. I'm sitting here sweating this Minnesota game. They're being outshot 21-12.
Great.
And yeah, there's 15 minutes left, and we're on high alert with the goal horn tonight. You know, Sam and the boys doing a hell of a job with that. So we'll know when a goal is scored. This is an under. That's it. It's a wrap. Whatever it is, it's probably an under. Let me see what it is. Let me hit refresh.
Yeah, but don't they have Doug Peterson in tonight? Isn't he back in the lineup?
3.5.
Isn't he? How much?
3.5. 3.5 in the hockey.
Really?
Seattle, Minnesota.
Oh, then got to go under. All right. You got to go under.
There's only one more goal being scored.
All right. So what do we have more? What do we have more points in? Are we getting more goals in that Minnesota game, or more runs in the first 5 innings with Arizona and San Francisco? So if it's 3.5, you think both land under? Is that how much confidence? I mean, it can't be more than 4, Dave. But the total's 8 in the game for the Giants and the Arizona Diamondbacks. First 5's got to be what, 3.5?
Yeah, let's see what that is.
It's got. I would think it can't be 4, maybe at most. I don't see it being that.
4.
I'm thinking it's going to be
4.
4. Okay.
4.
So, all right. I
Some
still
places
think
have
we
juice
got
under.
over.
Some places have juice over. I'd say juice under. Let's go under. First 5.
Oh,
you like
I
over?
like
Though.
Now, I'm going to go over.
Seattle.
First,
the Kraken just went into the box, Joe. Kraken just.
So
went
that
into the
means,
box.
all right. Let's go, Minnesota.
Let's go.
Now's the time. Got to get this done. We also need the Blackhawks to finish it up tonight too, as well, for the final dog of our parlay here. By the way, the Cubs and the Marlins, thank goodness we didn't have to sit through that. That was rained out. They are going to play some sort of doubleheader coming up there. But we did have the Rangers beat up on the Tigers here. Even when the Tigers score runs, they can't score enough to actually beat anybody, unfortunately. Although, I mean, listen, they're sitting right around with the same record as the Rangers. But I believe Wasn't Leiter's kid on the mound today? Didn't he make his major league debut?
Yes.
Just, ripping balls by guys. There's a few guys. Oh, Winnipeg on a goal.
Jets, Jets. That's a different Jets, but that's a good cheer.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Look at
another dog.
Yeah.
Yes. But we do need Minnesota, though, to pull this out. We definitely need Minnesota. Please.
Yeah.
And did the Red Sox win today? They were playing the Guardians, and it was back and forth. Oh, that's a shame.
Red Sox
that's
lost.
right.
Yep. Yeah, they can't hold a lead. They came back. And then,
that bullpen is
no.
That bullpen is just no.
It's
no.
Good. It's not good.
And
did they
quite
finish
honestly,
last in the AL East, Joe? Like if you look at it right now, and I know it's only April 18th. They're not better than the Yankees. They're not better than Tampa.
No.
They're not better than Toronto. And oh my goodness.
Oh no.
Not good.
Oh boy. Minnesota just gave up a shorthanded goal. Oh, that's just disgusting. Oh, that is disgusting. The Kraken just got absolutely taken advantage of, the Minnesota Wild. Oh, that's terrible. Well, the good news is I still think they're on the power play, Dave. So they still have an opportunity to get back in that one. That's a hell of a way to end the season, Minnesota, on such a wonderful streak there of not losing games after you're up after one to, well, giving up a shorthanded goal to actually lose the lead. But I'm just saying, plenty of time, man. Plenty of time. Sharks and Flames, by the way, dropping the puck here. Bottom of the hour, Oilers and the Avalanche will be going there. And that number is so strange on so many different levels. Begging us just to take the over. And I did, 6.5, because I don't think anybody is going to be dropping in front of the puck here trying to stop slap shots tonight. Don't see that happening. I don't see a whole lot of effort being made to stop anybody. So, yeah, over tonight in that one as well. And I'm a little upset. I thought the Canucks and the Jets would have a few more goals on the board here. 2-1. And I believe Vancouver is now about to enter a power play because Winnipeg is heading to the box. Not good there. So we got a little something going on here. And, of course, we got playing basketball tomorrow, if you guys haven't heard. Half a team for Miami is left, and they will be trying to take down the Chicago Bulls in Miami with a chance to go and play.
20-second timeout. Hold on. The Wild are on a 5-on-3 now. The Wild are on a 5-on-3.
Oh, they're going to give up a goal. That's all.
No, they're not.
They're going to make it 3-1. Oh, no. Stop it. They had that chance. That ship has sailed. Yeah, they're going to give up another shorthanded goal. Look at this. Kraken from the point. But what game are you watching, Dave? No more betting advice on the Wild from you. We'll keep you updated next.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, yeah, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
We talked about the Otani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell Coast to Coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
InGame Live, PrimeTime.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
Late
sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in-game live. We are primetime here on the SportsGrid Network as waiting on the first pitch coming up on a little late night Thursday night baseball here between the Diamondbacks and the Giants. In the meantime, we do have a couple of hockey games coming to a close. A lot of power plays, kind of urgency right now. Minnesota Wild down 2-1, but they are on a power play here. See if they can get back even with the Kraken. And the Canucks down 2-1 against the Winnipeg Jets. And the Sharks 6, Flames nothing. Oh, I'm sorry. That is a 0-0 with the Sharks right now taking on the Flames. We'll have the Oilers and Avalanche coming up a little bit later. We did have also, I believe, the opening round of the RBC Classic there at Heritage, and we've got a JT Poston 8 under par, Seamus Power next at 6, and Morikawa trying to make up for that disgustingness over the weekend at the Masters. He too is just a couple of strokes back there, and it's good that you bet on JT Postman early because the Postman never delivers on Sunday, so you better get him early because he won't be there on Sunday. I can promise you that here, Dave. And Dave, you didn't tell me.
Did you ever play Harbortown?
No, Brady has played Harbortown. Our good friend Brady Cannon here on the show. He loves the place. It's another one of those very classic Pete Dye Carolina courses. I love the Carolina golf courses. If you've ever played in that area, Dave, I know you were a professional golfer, right? Turned beverage cart, I think, was it? But you were definitely on the links. I might have had that reversed here, but maybe it was the beverage manager. I can't remember what it was. But bottom line is you were a scratch golfer at one point, were you not? I'm just saying.
I don't know what notes you're getting or who's feeding you this
Just
information, but I
It's
was
in
the
my
sales
ear.
and marketing director at a golf resort in between my stint down in the islands and my move to Vegas. I was playing golf in Arizona, I don't know, Joe, probably 4 to 5 days a week. And I would take a lunch break when I was at the course and go hit a bucket of balls. I got pretty good with the chipping and the putting and a lot of the things. And, baseball
like it.
players, hockey players. If you learn how to hit a golf ball, there's a lot of similarities. I'm a lefty hockey player, but a righty golfer. Seattle almost scored to make it 3-1. That would be a wrap if
Told
that
you.
happens. Yeah, Flurry's all
it's a
over the
wrap
place.
already.
Flurry makes you nervous.
It's already a wrap.
But yeah, so I love the golf. I love to play golf. I don't play nearly as much because I've been so busy with the kids and coaching the softball and doing all the other stuff. But
right,
watching and making the numbers and trying to see now, it's really interesting how golf betting has evolved, because when I got into the book business and started doing it.
Oh, there it is. What? The Ducks. Yes.
What?
No idea.
The Ducks?
Not Wild.
The Wild.
The Wild. I was just I know. I just got my Ducks bet in. So we have Wild 2 and the Kraken 2. And we still have a 2-1 game here with Vancouver and Winnipeg. But I believe that one's in the second. So that's a big goal by Minnesota at home there, getting this thing all knotted up. What do we got? About 5 minutes left in that one there, Dave? Can't be much time left in Minnesota and the Kraken.
We're 8.5 minutes. 8.5 minutes left.
Wow. Okay. All right. So we got some time there.
We don't need a
little time.
Let's get the goal here quick.
Let's just get it over with. I'm a little upset no score in the Flames and Sharks here. I thought we would have I have an over in this one, and I thought for sure we'd have a couple of goals here in the first 10 minutes of the game, but nothing. We are still awaiting that. And just so we're clear, are you on the Blackhawks with us tonight here?
No.
As we
What are you talking about?
What do you mean no? What you said Blackhawks
about?
earlier. What now you're a Kings fan? Blackhawks on the money line. You said there was one dog I asked you when we started this show, and you said it's got to be Blackhawks. That's why I bet the Blackhawks. Now you're telling me you're not betting.
You're right. I did say that. You're right. Thank you. We almost got another goal. Sorry.
But you're not betting on that.
I need this Minnesota. I need this Minnesota to get in. Sorry, I'm distracted. Yes.
Yeah.
The Blackhawks would probably be the one tonight. I have no idea.
The Kings are playing for what? What is the Kings' motivation here? Outside of them beating them 11-2. This is like
they get 2 points. They jump the Knights, and the Knights end up playing Dallas. If the Kings lose or don't get match over, I mean, they have to get 2 versus none or 2 versus 1 tonight points to.
And the only way they can do that is Vegas losing. Vegas
losing and them getting a point in regulation or a point in overtime or 2 points for the win. So, yeah, I listen, Blackhawks bad. I mean, you maybe want to take a goal and a half. I'm sure Cam did what our guy Sammy did. You know, he just took the dogs all blindly. Can't say it's wrong.
Okay.
Can't say it's wrong.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. And I'm also thinking this should definitely be a team total, right? We should be looking at the Kings team total here and just think they're going to score as many goals as they want. Unless you think Chicago's all of a sudden going to give us and the Blackhawks give up almost 4 goals a game. So I got to believe that's probably – I mean, what is the goal and a half with the Kings? Like $1.80? What? That's not even. You can't even do it. It's like crazy. Yeah. What is the alternate market, Dave? Suppose I laid 3.5 with the Kings instead. Would that bring it down?
I mean, you want to do that? That's not really comfortable, but you could get plus money, right? If you lay a goal and a half, it's minus 180. If it's 2.5, it's probably even, and minus 3.5 is welcome to the book, Joe. You like betting hockey? You can do this anytime you want. That's I mean, you're laying 3.5.
Yeah, I'm just saying, is the alternate market available? Sam, behind the scenes, find us some alternate numbers for the Kings Chicago game if you could, because we're going to want to get as disgustingly as humanly possible on this last day of the regular season in the NHL. We are going to celebrate the futility of this Chicago Blackhawks team by cashing a ridiculous, and I mean ridiculous, ticket as best we can here. I know you and Peralta there on the Bostoni in the book. I mean, he has had to have already put his money down on Boston winning everything, right? With the Celtics, I'm guessing. I'm guessing he's not worried about either of these two teams coming in.
He's not worried at all. So he said today, it was pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't come on the show because I told him, try to come on the show today with us because I want you to hear it.
Right.
Oh, what a save by the Seattle goalie. He dove across the crease and made a save. It should have been a goal. How did that not go in? Sorry.
Dogs are barking.
He goes, I'm not really worried about the East at all. But there's one team that I would love to see lose in the West because that team is definitely going to beat Boston if they play. Who do you think the team was in the West that he just dismissed?
Got to be Denver. Got to be Denver.
He said he wants the Lakers to win so bad so they could take out Denver. Anybody take out Denver, he goes, in Boston, we'll be planning the duck boat parade and all that other nonsense and blah, 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 blah.
That's correct.
One team, that's it?
One team. And there are a number of people that believe the Lakers have exactly what it takes to beat Denver in this series and send them bye-bye now. I don't think it matters on the other side to OKC, quite honestly, whether or not they're playing Sacramento or they're playing New Orleans. I don't think either of those two teams do a damn thing to OKC except get in the way. So we'll have more on that and an update from the Wild on the Grid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He was like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell Coast to Coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
InGame Live. PrimeTime.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage Late
sort
Night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Well, this is turning out to be one of the most disgusting nights of wagering you will ever come across, simply because, well, we've got the NHL on the last night of the regular season with games that mean absolutely nothing. And the Kraken coming through. Look at that. Told you this was going to be disgusting here on InGame Live. Prime time. Joe Raineri alongside.
I don't think Fleury can see the puck.
Just so everyone understands, Dave is now doubled down on backing Minnesota over the last three segments, and they keep giving up goals to the Kraken, which means the lead. How much time is left here, Dave? How much time left here?
Done.
All right, so plenty of time. Plenty of time. Don't be that guy. Plenty of time. More importantly, we found the alternate markets on the upcoming Blackhawks and Kings game, and we have decided as a show, as a group, we are pretty much going to take the alternate market -3.5, -4.5, -5.5 for the Kings. We're expecting total rout over the Chicago Blackhawks in this one here. So there is no stopping the Kings here tonight, nor the amount of stupid bets we are placing right now on them. What could go wrong here, Dave? Now, the big question is, should we spice it up a little and include who is playing the Vegas Knights? What is the name of that team? Is it the Ducks? Maybe we should mix in a little Ducks alternate line here, because something tells me this may not be as easy as some Vegas Knight fans think it is here. Sam, get on those alternate line props. Let's see what we got here for the Ducks tonight. What are you thinking, Dave? I'm going to guess you're going Knights by some chance?
Yeah, Knights. minus.
Are you going alternate market now?
You got me interested. But with Sammy and you and the break, you got me interested in that other game. And I was like, man, I'm trying to do the price in my head and going, okay, maybe the 2.5 is the number and take that big plus because it's a plus. It's a plus with the 2.5. It's a big plus with the 3.5. Not doing 3.5. That's crazy talk. Can't do 3.5 at all.
Oh, it's got 6-1 written all over it. Let's see what the Ducks have here. Oh, wow. Well, if you're going to go Knights, 3.5 is also about $3. So 3.5 on the night. Now you're thinking route. 2.5 is going to be plus
2.5
plus 130. Plus 125. Plus 125.
Okay. I still got it. Yeah, that's enough. I don't need to get crazy and lay 3.5 just for that extra.
Which game starts first? Does the Knights start first or the Kings? Because if the Kings are blowing out the Blackhawks, right, then that puts pressure on Vegas. Now Vegas is
Knights is at 7.
Kraken! Oh, the Kraken getting it done. Oh, that's a wasted bet right there.
The Dogs. Sammy's off to a good start with the dog parlays. Dogs. Yeah, that was an easy empty.
The Jets are winning.
Well, that's good. Enjoy your season.
So the Jets are winning. Oh, by the way, the Flames on the board here. Flames early on. That's not what we wanted. We got to get the Sharks involved here. Yes. No, you're too late. You missed the goal. Power play goal by the Flames. 1-0 over the Sharks right now. Kind of upset here. But the Oilers and Avalanche are about to drop the puck here, Dave. And I'm still trying to wrap my head around the Avalanche laying 260 in this one. Just don't think that's going to happen. But the Oilers showed last night they really have no interest in either of these last couple of games in the NHL season.
No.
But I do think the over might be worth a look here because I don't see any defense whatsoever being played. 0.
No.
Over.
I don't think so. Can we change the subject? Are the Sixers going to beat the Knicks? Please, can we go?
I'll take the over. Let me get the alternate line number in here. Yes.
The Knicks are going to beat the Sixers?
Yeah, on the alternate line. They're going to actually wipe the floor with them. And pretty much across the board there, because I don't buy Embiid being healthy. The dude is not 100%, and
Doesn't
I
look
do
right.
think that
Yeah.
doesn't look right. Nope, doesn't
Does
look
that
right. I mean, they were
number
all,
surprise you?
high fiving. No, well, I did watch the Knicks get a whole lot of money all day today. No, they were the series price for the Knicks. We saw a whole lot of money coming in there. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that there are people seeing what we were seeing there. And there is, without Embiid, a 70% Embiid, I don't think is going to be good enough to beat the Knicks. Not for the style of play the Knicks are going to bring to the table there. But I do think there's going to be a whole lot of unders in that series. Whole lot of unders in there.
You see the steam come on the Pacers? The Pacers are the favorite to beat the Bucks.
Yeah. And they should be, because the word keeps coming out that Giannis will not see the court. Can't bet him without Giannis on the court. Can't even come close to betting them without Giannis there. I probably wouldn't bet them even if Giannis was there, but I think without it, and that seems to be the overwhelming consensus, is that he's going to miss at least game 1, maybe game 2. I mean, what, calf injuries go away? They don't go away.
Flames.
2-0 Flames already. That's
little
just
less
annoying.
enthusiasm from our guy with the goal horn when it's not a dog.
Yeah. Whoa.
Right.
I thought he had. Oh, wow. That's unfortunate for them. But no, listen, don't sleep on the Sharks. Plenty of time here. Cam Stewart's going to be on them. So there is plenty of time for them to get back in. I did see this Phoenix Suns get a whole lot of money too recently. So are we?
What do you think of that?
Because I think the Suns are the right look there. Honestly, because I don't. Minnesota's just, what's the word I'm looking for? There's no backbone there. I'm not buying. I'm not buying Minnesota is going to get over the hump and take down. I think Phoenix is built for the playoffs. I think Phoenix is built. And they'll get by the Minnesota Timberwolves here. It's no Kawhi Leonard that has me absolutely fading in every way possible the Clippers here, because it doesn't sound like he's going to see the floor in the playoffs either. And if that's the case, it's over in 4.
In all seriousness, how is Phoenix getting the money and the steam to be the favorite without home court? This screams that Phoenix is going to win a game in Minnesota. What if Minnesota wins them both?
They won't.
And I
they
think
won't, because Minnesota will inevitably.
No.
The Canucks. Getting on. What happened there now? That's a 2-2 game now? Is that what we've got? Oh, no. Did the Wild just score a goal? 4-3 now. Wow. Opportunity. We don't want to bring it up. 2-2, Canucks and the Jets, by the way. There is still somehow a minute left in that game with the Kraken, and they have not gotten it going. And it looks like the Wild will be on a power play here. So this is going to be interesting. Yes. This is going to be very interesting here. And they are getting ready to drop the puck with the Oilers and the Avalanche. Let me just say this about Minnesota. I just want to remind everyone that this was the team whose superstar showed up late to a home game and was like, the day got away from me. I didn't remember what was going. Now, again, a guy that is the face of the franchise, the day got away from him and he showed up late to the arena. So how do you know the day doesn't get away from Edwards in this one, and then he just doesn't show up here? It's not a team I think I can trust all that much in a crunch time situation. Durant, Beal, Booker, I can trust those guys in a short series. No?
Fair.
Thank you.
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, it's a pick-em price. Really?
You've seen them play. Like, seriously. You're like, we can go with this. Like, I don't know.
Nope.
I don't know until I see it for extended period of time on the floor, multiple games back to back. then I go, okay. Like there's people saying that the Suns are poised. They've been kind of just cruising to get to this point, and then this is the flip the switch team, right? This is the Suns.
I agree.
They're going to flip the switch. They got the matchup they wanted. They're going to beat Minnesota. They're going to win the next series, and they're going to go to the Western Conference Finals. Heard it before, seen it before. I don't know. I don't know. So, I mean, we got to win this face-off, Joe. We got 23 seconds left, and we got to win the face-off.
Yes, you do.
I got to win the face-off.
You'll get a shot or two.
Detroit scored a goal the other night. The Red Wings did with 3 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, that was unreal. That was unreal.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
So, all hope is not lost if you've got Minnesota. Although we can't win the face-off.
And it worked out well for them, too.
Joe, you can't get the puck.
I know.
You got to win the draw. Got to win the draw.
Yes, we know. We need extra hockey is what we need here. We need absolutely overtime extra hockey that means absolutely nothing. That would be fantastic, except we're not going to get it. So there is a hockey god after all there. But we will get the root on Colorado and Edmonton as they get ready to drop the puck. Still 2-2, Canucks and Jets. Still 2-0, Calgary and the Sharks. And when we come back here, we'll have Cam Stewart dumpster diving with us in the alternate market here on the Grid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell Coast to Coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
InGame Live. PrimeTime.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
Late
sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Yeah, 2-0 still. Calgary over the Sharks. They are not a dog. However, the Canucks knotted up at 2 against the Winnipeg Jets here, and the Kraken finally did it. Thank goodness they ended that game. We don't have to talk about it anymore. They beat the Wild 4-3. Dave Sharapan hanging out here with us, Joe Raineri, and we welcome in the one and only Cam Stewart, who we have off air been trying to convince to dumpster dive in the alternate market with us here. And we have got absolute grossness coming up here, Cam. But can we interest you in any sort of blowout here by the Kings over the Blackhawks?
No, Joe. No, I know where I stand. I'm a guy. I did a lot of crazy things yesterday. Ask Dave. I went all in on the Coyotes, alternate lines, everything.
Yes.
We win.
Perfect.
And then today in golf, JT Poston, first round leader, 45-1.
Hey!
Finally, things are coming my way. So no, I don't. Joe, you're like that guy. I just walked out of the AA meeting, and you're like, hey, Cam, I think we go back. Remember we used to party? Remember the fun we used to have? I'm like, no, Joe, I gotta go home to my family and have dinner with the wife and drink a glass of milk. Like I just know. I gotta be honest with you.
Cam.
Bad influence.
I can't. No, honestly, I can't lay anything with the Kings. I think you guys are nuts, personally. Like Chicago played Vegas pretty tough. Like I would not consider. Like I think Chicago can hang in this game. I'll tell you one thing: the teams that aren't involved, we had a theory. Me and Carver today when I did coast to coast.
Okay.
So I am pretty beat down. Been doing a lot of shows today, but this is it. Teams not in the playoffs over. Teams going in the playoffs under. I'm on under in Colorado, Edmonton under 6.5. That's my play.
Okay.
We had the over in the Kraken game. I took the 6.5 live Vancouver, Winnipeg. Maybe they, just play it safe, turn off 4-2 at best. It's 6.5. So that was Carver's. We talked about this today. I don't see Edmonton and Colorado. If I was these coaches, I'd have like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge agreement going, you got McKinnon, I got McDavid. Let's just skate around in circles tonight. Somebody win like 1-0, 2-1. We get the hell out of here. Get ready for the playoffs. I'm not laying the over in this game. But the problem is when you look at Dave, it's just I thought it made logical sense. Sometimes I'm not very logical. Colorado's goalie's an absolute sieve, though. So even if they tried to play this game, I don't know what's going to happen. But I took the under 6.5. That's what I did, and I'm saving some of these rubles that I made today. It's been I've been beat down so many times by a shot in here, and like me and Carver were on it till the end. And when JT posted, when no one could catch him, I was just like, "This is amazing!" Like I can't believe I won $1,500. I won $1,500.
Yes,
so I actually thought I won like $3,000, Dave. I thought I had it in another book, but it was just him in the tournament. I thought I did both. I usually do, but I told you I'm spun since I came back from New York. But I'll take any type of money. This is really helping me get back on track, and this is great.
Take care of the hotel bills and stuff.
Very nice.
Coming off the vacation. Don't do this though. Okay.
No.
We teased your appearance, your first appearance on a Bostonian versus the Book tomorrow, because your team is playing his team. The Maple Leafs are playing the Bruins, okay? And Joe's with us tonight, but P. Roth will be with us tomorrow here on InGame Live. But you're coming on where you can get loose a little bit on BVB and just let it fly. I told him today, Cam's taking you in the corner. Cam's taking you in the corner. And I don't know who's coming out, but my money's on Cam. He's coming in elbows high. Peralt, you ain't ever been in the corner with a Canadian guy who's a Leafs fan. Seriously.
1-0 Colorado. 1-0 Colorado.
And how's my under doing? See? I should stick to golf. But it's early. It's early. Just nice and easy. Take the pedal off. Dave, I told you I don't need Larry Lemon. I told you I didn't need Larry Lemon coming out. I'm like Wayne Wins right now. I don't need Mike Mush and Larry Lemon are knocking at the door. They're not invited. I'm going to tell you something.
Not too late to get in on that.
I'm like a fighter.
For the game.
I'm like a fighter, Dave. Peralt's smart. If I don't knock him out in the first round, he's going to gas me out and put me in one of them death holes. He knows kung fu, karate, and all sorts of other stuff. So let's not underestimate this guy. He'd probably put me in a pretzel, even though my head has been beaten in by guys who do have played in the NHL. So let's say, but the Leafs have never beat this team this year. I don't care. I honestly, I don't care. It's like the NCAA tournament teams limping into the playoffs, whatever. Throw it out the window. I really believe the Boston Bruins are a team. They're a one-line team. If they shut down the power play and Pasternak, they have a significant advantage in goal, which is very important, and coaching. Other than that, the Leafs roll out 4 lines. If they find a way to control their first line, they'll win this series. I'm betting them. I don't know what Perrault wants to bet. I don't know if legally we can bet on air. If he wants to do like a product, cash, whatever, like anything he wants, like I'm up for it. Like I want to make this fun. If he wants to go bananas, I'm really go bananas. I'm willing to put some of the JT Poston monies in. I think the Leafs get it done. This is not a homer pick. By the way, when I'm looking at the NHL playoffs, I usually bet American teams. Even though Pharrell, hey, Prime Minister, I'm a Prime Minister. I make bad trade deals with other countries around the world, and I got so many friends in the U.S., I'm screwing my own citizens. But I'm going to tell you this. I think Canadian teams in the first round go 3-1 or 4-0. I might parlay them. I think Edmonton can win. I think Toronto can win. I like the Jets over Colorado, and I like Vancouver over Nashville. I think 3 of them will win, maybe 4. That's what I'm
think
doing.
3. I think 3 will too. My concern for you is Toronto, but
mine is more Vancouver. To be honest with you, mine's Vancouver.
That's the other one.
Nashville's
that's
good.
The other one. Nashville could beat them. 100%.
I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, Dave, but I think like literally, if there was a bet over under Canadian teams 2.5, I take over to win the first round series. But I haven't found that anywhere because I know they usually choke. Winnipeg chokes, Edmonton chokes, Toronto chokes, Vancouver's new to the dance. But
who wins more games, Cam, in the Eastern Conference series between the Islanders playing Carolina or the Capitals playing the Rangers?
Islanders.
Agree.
I think the Islanders are literally yes. I think the Islanders are the type of team, even though Carolina's better, they beat them every year. I like what Patrick Waugh does. I saw them live from really high up, and I got to see a lot of the things that they do. They also have veterans playing really well. Kyle Palmieri looks fantastic, great hockey player. A lot of their U.S. guys are good. Their goaltending is fantastic. And I think it's urgent that they start Varlamov. Me and George Kurtz agreed. I went on another show today in Canada, and they said Sorokin. I go, have you watched Sorokin play lately? You start Varlamov. And then you could go back to Sorokin. But I'll say this, Carolina, Frederik Andersen's been fantastic. But remember something, Dave. He used to be a Toronto Maple Leaf. And he's had 920 percentage before. And when the playoffs come around, things change. I'm just saying, Carolina will probably win this series in 6. But I think the Islanders are going to give them all they can handle. I also predict in this series, I would not be shocked if like a few games went to overtime. I'd almost play like go to over. They're going to be close, tight, checking hockey games. As for Washington, I don't. Some people think they can play with the Rangers. I don't. I don't know if I should save this for tomorrow, Dave, but Peralt's not there. I did a show today and we did a bracket. I have the Leafs going to the Stanley Cup Finals versus the Dallas Stars. And then I did another one with the Rangers going to the Stanley Cup with the Dallas Stars. That's what I did.
I'm going to look that exact up right now.
I already played it, 41-1.
Not worried about the old President's Cup curse there, Kim? Not worried about the Rangers?
I'm worried about waking up in the morning, like, let alone President's Cup curse. Will I get there? What's that noise?
I'm just saying.
Is it a sleep machine? What did I just do?
Yeah,
I remember one day, Joe, I was sleeping the other day. I wake up and the hose is around my neck. I'm like I was tossing and turning, and I like wrapped it around my head. Thank God it stopped. I woke up and went, "Whoa!" I go, "Oh my God!" It's like I thought it was a snake on me. It's a sleep apnea hose.
Yeah.
Anyway,
gotta keep that thing
I'm telling you one thing. Those things are like it's like a deadly snake. But I'm going to tell you, Dave, if the Leafs can beat Boston, I thought about this. Tampa, say Tampa wins, whatever, Florida, that winner, I think they could beat them. And the only reason I think they can go deep this year, and we make jokes, we laugh at these guys who go to the ticket with their Leafs futures ticket. But one team they match up well against is the Rangers. The Rangers don't do well with speed.
No question.
That's the one thing they don't do. Like, I trust me, I'm watching tape, I'm saying that's one thing the Leafs do well. But they got Shesterkin, and we got Samsonov luggage, and sometimes a wall with empty bricks. We don't know what's happening. But I'll tell you one thing, the Leafs match up very well against the Rangers if they get there. The key is to beat Boston in the first round. It's one of those years, I think they got to get out of the first. It's not going to be like last time with Florida. They can win 2-0 Colorado. Okay, so pull Skinner and let's just call it a night.
I didn't want to say it. I was just, I'm like, well, there's another one.
Oh my God!
Well, let me ask
45 minutes into the game. I guess this theory didn't work. So everybody listening on the radio right now, go, who the hell is this stooge? You can fade anything I want, but I guess the only thing you listen to me is golf. Don't just listen to my golf picks. They do okay.
So, did you have anything in the baseball game tonight? Arizona. We had a run in the first inning.
I'm on Arizona. I'm on Arizona, actually.
Yeah, me. Okay, Arizona. I'm with you then. There you go. See, Dave likes the Giants and the under or the over. What did you say, Dave? You were on the under.
Giants.
Yeah,
Giants.
I don't touch the total. Oh, Dave, wasn't it great last night too in the Arizona game? Edmonton pulls their goalie with 5 minutes left. I'm like, this is excellent. You talked about the over, so that parlay came in too. I'm like, man, I know it. And people, I'm going to say this. I know we're going to get into basketball tomorrow. We got picks there too. We got everything, more golf. But I feel like watching that game last night, and I'm guilty of it too. We talked about the Arizona market and stuff, but watching old ladies and kids cry, anytime a city loses its team, it got me emotional last night. There are great Colorado. There are great hockey fans in Arizona. They just butchered that arena deal, and people who love hockey love it, and it's something different. And I felt horrible last night because I know I crack a lot of jokes and stuff, and nothing is vengeful, but I actually me and Gabe were tearing up watching that celebration at the end. I didn't like it. I don't like seeing teams move away. It's wrong. Like you rip the heart out of a fan. Like,
it's brutal.
That's what I was thinking.
I moved there in 1999. And I got season tickets, and they adopted the whiteout from the Winnipeg Jets. That downtown arena was great. I went to almost all 40 home games, and then the first round of the playoffs, they ended up losing. But it was a part of our routine. And as a hockey fan, it was fun, and it was great. And then they moved the building out to Glendale. And, my brother-in-law gave up the tickets and, he couldn't take the kids. It's just too far. And it went backwards so fast. But there's a core, like you said, hockey fans are hockey fans. They root for the team that they're living in, but they also root for hockey. And
they do.
It was a bummer. It was a bummer seeing it. But I'll tell you what, Utah is going to blow up, Cam. It is going to be fun.
I feel bad, though, Dave, because they're going to get out. Like, Arizona's getting better, and Utah's going to reap all the rewards. I guarantee the Utah Grizzlies, Sasquatch, whatever the hell you want to call them, in a couple of years is going to be a very good team. And the people in Arizona are going to feel like the people in Quebec going, F you, we lost, the Nordiques, and now the Avalanche win the Stanley Cup. Bye-bye. I write this. That's the story. It's already written. What
do they call that team? What are they going to call
I like my idea. They should call them the Grizzlies, like the old IHL team. The Grizzlies.
Like Vancouver. I like it. There you go.
They're talking about Venom.
Love it.
That's a snake. No. Blizzard. That's a Toronto Blizzard of the Indoor Soccer League.
Maybe the Jazz
that name.
It could be.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He was like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, yeah, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
We talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell Coast to Coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
InGame Live, PrimeTime.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
Late
sort
Night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
We tried telling Cam there it's not too late to hop in the alternate market with the Kings as that game is coming up in just about 30 minutes or so. And the Blackhawks, in the meantime, the Avalanche are skating around literally the Edmonton Oilers right now. It's 3-0. And it looks like I don't even think those are real people in uniforms there, Sharapan. I think the Oilers have a bunch of mannequins out there, and Avalanche are just running around them and scoring at will here. We do still have a 2-0 Flames lead over the Sharks, and those your Vegas Knights are getting ready to drop the puck. And did we go over with the Golden Knights and the Ducks here? How we approach? It's only 6.
I don't like that. Team total Knights over. 5-1 is probably
there you go.
5-1 is probably
Done.
The way this is going to go. So you and Sammy with all these alternate totals, you can go do all that fun stuff.
Yes, we will.
I don't know.
And I don't think we have a score yet in the Giants game either.
I think Blackhawks got a shot with taking a couple goals, like +2.5. The Blackhawks are going to keep.
Really?
They're going to play. Yeah, they're going to play the Kings competitive. We'll leave on that note.
If I hadn't heard that exact same breakdown on the Edmonton Oilers, I might consider it. But since we had already heard about how there was going to be no goals and an under, yet no. Kings by 1 million. I might even throw a little money on -6.5. How's that? Sam and I are going to split that one there at 20-1. I think it's going to be blowout city. I really wish, though, we could get a run here in the bottom of the first in this Arizona and Giant game would be great because Arizona stranded 2 runners in scoring position in the top of the first. And now we got a runner on with nobody out in the bottom of the first. So plenty of
Yankees
game left.
Play the Rays weekend series. Who wins the series?
Oh, the Rays will absolutely win. This is the time where the Yankees. Oh, yeah, it's going to be a mess. You watch it. There's going to be a stub toe. It's going to be a mess. Enjoy the rest of the night.